I'm running a handyman service in the area, and I'm the owner. And we're a team of about 5 people. And last year we did about 750,000.
Wow.
Our goal is to hit $1 million this year.
Good for you.
One of the biggest problems that I've been having is hiring people in key positions as I'm growing, and watching them fall short and not being able to figure out how to get them to step in their role or to fulfill the obligations that they need, or even managing their time the way that I can, right? Like, I'm in the position that I've done everything, so I know what it takes to get it done, but I can't ever seem to get employees to even operate at half what I can, and wanting to get your opinion on how to manage that.
Well, I mean, there would be two reasons that they can't operate at that level. One is they don't care enough, and two is they don't know how. They're not competent at the level you are. So, for instance, they could do X repair in twice the amount of time you do it, but it's not because they didn't care, not because they weren't working hard, not because they, were slacking off or something. It's just because they weren't as good as you at it. It's not as easy for them. And so that's just a competency thing that should increase over time. I can't really fix somebody that doesn't care except giving them like 1 or 2 opportunities to care, and then I'll let them work somewhere else.
Okay.
And what I'm doing there is I'm hiring for that. I'm hiring for both the talent, the technical talent, but I'm also hiring for the passion. And so working for us means you work really, really hard, you work really fast, and you're really kind to the customer. You're clean. You clean up after yourself, before yourself, and during yourself. And so this is how we expect. And, you may not want to do that. If you don't, this is a good time to figure it out, because if you want to work here, this is how we're going to do it. We're going to really be at it. We go for touchdowns here. We don't go for field goals.
Okay.
And that's the interviewing process. I have found myself back when I had 5 or 6 people. It's a long time ago, but I do remember it, feeling like I had to talk them into coming to work with us.
Yeah. No kidding.
Oh, okay. Good. I read your mail. Okay, good. So, yeah, I remember that. I need the help, and it looks like you're a cool guy. And so then I spend my time like trying to talk you into doing something. And I've never talked anybody into being a good employee, being a good team member. They already came loaded with that. And it's like somebody said, how do you motivate your people? I don't. I hire motivated people.
Yeah.
And so now I'm just really, really clear. I'm like, this is not for everyone, and it's going to be painful for you and painful for me if we don't decide on the front end that it's not for you. And so let's figure it out. If you want to do this, this is what it looks like. And gosh, I'd love to have some help. I need some help. That's why I'm talking to you. But I also don't want to go through the pain of somebody that I'm not aligned with on the value system. And this is what it works. This is how it works. This is who we are. We work really, really hard. We care deeply about the customer. Everything's clean. I'm clean, and it's fast, and we get our work done, and we're not trying to see how little work we can do, and we're going to see how much work we can do. And I want to reward you. I want to partner up with you. If we all make a lot of money, I'm going to share some of it with you. I'm not trying to do that, but if you're looking for a job to mail it in, I'm not your guy.
How do you know if you have more a higher expectation than what is realistic? Like, because the thing I've been fighting with is like, no, I've been able to do your job while doing this other job at the same time, and you can't even keep up with this. Like, at what point do you feel like the person just can't do it, or I just have too many expectations for it?
I think that was a bad hire. Your expectation is that they can do something similar to your speed within a reasonable period of time. Now, if what's one of your top repairs that you do as a handyman?
That's the hard thing about a handyman is a handyman has to be skilled enough
to do a lot of different things. But I mean, let's say something that occurs often. Just give me an example.
Base and case. Doing base molding in a home and door casing. It's the finished trim.
Okay, so a little bit of trim work. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, and so trim work is a bit of an art form. It's not a hatchet job, and so it is slow for someone that's not done a bunch of trim work. So I would say, if you've not done a bunch of trim work and you get some trim work, you can expect them to be slow a few times. But if they're slow because they're learning and they're getting faster, that's okay. That is unrealistic for them to be caught up with you if they're not a trim carpenter. Okay, you've done a bunch of trim work, and trim work is, let me tell you, that measure 3 times and cut once, baby,
Right.
and the rule, and other people know the rule, but they don't live that rule. You try to do trim work fast, you get to do it 3 times if you're not good at it. Right?
Right.
And so, because the trim carpenters are the artists in the building. So anyway, that's a good example. So what I'm thinking about if I'm you there is I'm going to say, okay, how much trim work have you done? Not a lot, but I like it and I'd like to learn. Well, you can expect that person to be half the speed of you initially, but in a year they ought to be about, 80% of you.
Yeah, okay.
If they're doing it pretty regularly. If they're not, it's either because you haven't taught them a little bit. Said, okay, here's a shortcut on that, making sure that angle works, and no pun intended on the cut. But yeah, but anyway, here's a way to do this that works, and you could coach them a little. But at the end of a year, if they're not, then they're either just physically not capable of doing that kind of work, which would be bad, or they don't care. And I don't know what you run into, but yeah, I mean, something like that, something that has a little bit of technicality to it, you should be able to show somebody most of the stuff you do, how to do it 1 or 2 times, then they ought to be able to do it. Agreed?
Yeah, agreed. 100%.
Yeah. And so it's not, how do I do this? Well, don't lay around under that dishwasher for 45 minutes. I can show you how to do it in 3 minutes, and then next time you can do it in 10. And then the next time you can do it in 7. And then after that, it better be 3, because it's just a simple, we're just changing out a valve here. Come on, this is how you handle that sleeve and all that junk. So whatever the thing is, right? And I do think they'll get faster, but they've got to take pride in their work and the speed of their work and the cleanliness of their work, the quality of their work, like you do, and you're not doing anything that's superhuman. You're not like a savant. You're just good at it. And so other people ought to be as good as you. And so I'll give you an example over here, okay? I'm 30-something years on this microphone, answering questions off the cuff. I had a guy in here the other day, he said, how do you do show prep? 30 years. We don't do show prep because we don't know what you guys are going to ask when you call. So I don't have a bunch of heads up. I got about 3 sentences on a screen. That's it. So how do you train somebody for that? Well, it's the Ramsey personalities, teaching them to sit on a microphone has taken 5 years to get them to where they not only knew the answers, but answered them with some sass and answered them with some humor and answered them the way Ramsey answers them. And the sad truth is that some of them have actually gotten better than me now because the ratings are up when I'm not here. It's distressing. But yeah, but that means I did a great job training, and I did a great job hiring somebody that was trainable and that cares and that leans into a pretty technical thing, and they learn the technical aspects of it from a performance standpoint as well as the actual academic answer. And the same thing goes for you. You can find somebody, but I also have hired people that they just didn't have the it factor on the microphone, and they didn't work out. They just weren't, they're just like a wet blanket on the microphone. So that's the thing you're looking at. So you can find people that are even better than you someday, is my point. And that is not an unrealistic expectation. What might be an unrealistic expectation is the first time they do it, they might not be that good. And it might take a year to train them up and get them to where they're running at 75% of you instead of 10% of you. But I have an expectation that they're going to catch me or we got a problem. and it's not like I'm slowing down for them to catch me. I want them to catch me, or we got a problem. That's where we're going. So that's the kind of thing that I'm after there, and I think you can do that, but it's a matter of hiring the right people, interviewing with strength rather than begging. And I'm not trying to beg everybody to come to work here. You don't need to be here if you don't need to be here. But you got to be fired up and wired up, man. We're trying to score touchdowns here. We're not just trying to make the playoffs. I want to go to the freaking Super Bowl. So bring it, baby. Bring it, and plan on leaving it on the field or you ain't going to fit in. And, we talk about this stuff in the interview, and some people are motivated by that and some people are run off by that. And it's a little bit distressing sometimes when they run off, is I got to start again on the whole interview thing, but it's a whole lot better than having to rehire after I got rid of a donkey later because they really didn't want to be here. So that's what you're looking at, and that's how we'll play it through.